The doctor said, Emo, that kidney stone is gigantic. He says, I am going to try to remove whatever I can. He says, I'll keep working out. He says, basically, I was his only patient of the day. I was also his last patient. Now everybody's going to say, Emo, what the hell are you talking about? You were his last patient. I will get into that in a minute. He says, I will get in there and we'll start jackhammering that fucking thing with the laser beam. He says, I will do as much as I can, depending on the density. We know the size. We already knew the size. It was gigantic. But he says, depending on the density and whether or not the thing breaks up or not, depending on how hard it takes to break that stone apart. He says, sometimes they look bad, and they look bad and big and everything else. And he says, I get in there with the laser and they just disintegrate. He says, other times they'll be fucking dense and I remove what I can, and then you're going to have another procedure to have the rest of it moved. So, to make the long story short, just as he predicted, because he worked on me. So the bad news is it was dense. He knew there was a possibility that we would have to go in there with a second day surgery and smash out the rest of it. And that's where we are now. He got what he could in the time constraint that he could. And like I said, I was his only patient today that he had to operate on. I was the only one on his docket. And I was also this doctor's last patient.